23rd of July. A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to the weekend edition of Primetime News. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Bringing you the news this evening, I'm Joel Outskun. Let's start off with a look at our headlines.
The president's plan to put an end to narcotics.
මම යෝජනා කළේ කැබිනට් මණ්ඩලයට සිගරට් වල බද්ද මෙච්චර වැඩි කළා සෞඛ්‍ය ශාස්ත්‍රයේ මේ රෝගීන්ට බලපාන මේ බද්ද සම්පූර්ණයෙන් අයින් කළ යුතුයි කියලා. ගිය 12 වෙනිදා ඉඳන් මේක ලංකාවේ ක්‍රියාත්මකයි.
The Colombo Port City will be a separate jurisdiction, a statement by the Prime Minister. Ceylon Electricity Board suffers record losses.
සහතිකයි විදුලි බිල ළඟදීම වැඩි වෙනවා.
Terror strikes Europe once again. 10 killed in a terrorist attack in Munich, Germany. Murali joins the Australian cricket team as a training consultant.
First up on news from the President's diary, President Maithripala Sirisena announced this evening that the Matata Thitha program will be implemented under an active plan.
The President was speaking at the 104th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Amadhyapraya Mahasabha at the BMICH today.
When I was engaged in this program at a particular district, a student stood up and asked, if the permits for cigarettes and alcohol in Sri Lanka were terminated, wouldn't the problem be solved? I replied by saying that if we can do that, it would be great. However, after doing so, persons who use those substances might even work to topple the government. We must not forget that this is a powerful force in society. If persons in the treasury or those who hold such responsibilities think that without cigarettes and alcohol the government revenue cannot be increased, I must make it clear that I do not agree with those policies. That is why I propose to the cabinet to increase the tax on cigarettes and remove the tax on the health sector that affects the patients. This is in effect across the country from the 12th of this month. It is balanced in that manner.
Accolades were presented to persons who worked with commitment to eradicate drugs in the country.
According to the police, the Interpol has extended their support to probe into the international network involved in trafficking cocaine to Sri Lanka.
Deputy Inspector General of Police Priyantha Jayakodi stated that investigations are already underway. 300 kilograms of cocaine that was brought into the country from Brazil, concealed into 2 containers, are to be produced before the government analyst in the course of next week. This is the largest cocaine haul seized in the country thus far. This is incidentally the biggest haul of cocaine seized in South Asia at a single instance as well.
On to a story that made it to a headline this evening. During a special interview with Channel News Asia, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe revealed that the port city will be a separate jurisdiction area.
We discussed with the Chinese, renegotiated some of the agreements, and the focus is on Hambantota Economic Development Area, and the what was termed the port city as the real estate development, but now it will become the financial city to fill the vacuum between Singapore and Dubai with a separate jurisdiction for that area.
Well, the Prime Minister also addressed concerns on the crackdown of corruption.
Some polls, though, indicate that the Sri Lankan people might be getting a little bit impatient about the progress. Do you have a time scale, sir?
We have no time scale. The people are getting impatient, but we said don't prosecute anyone unless you're 200% sure.
And why is that, sir? Why 200%? Isn't 100% enough?
We just want to make sure that when you go and indict people in court, that the case will not collapse or they will not get away. And also it took us, it's just taken us 1 year just to get the experience on, which a lot of people don't realize that we didn't have any people with skills. Both the Financial Crimes Investigation Division and the Bribery Commission took 1. Still people are under training. New people are being recruited to the Bribery Commission, and police, the FCID will be trained. It's a long process, but still they are making headway, I must say.
And that people should not be worried that there is nepotism taking place or favoritism if the person has held high office?
There's certainly no corruption on, I can tell you that much. And it's very transparent now. The right to information law has been brought into operation. The Parliament has been given oversight powers with the Parliamentary Oversight Committees being set up. It takes a bit of time. I can understand the frustration, but we have to act carefully. It is a glass ladder. If you slip one you can come down completely.
Meanwhile, addressing an event in Kandy today, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe criticized the actions of certain media institutions.
There are individuals, especially in the print media, who have earned a lot. There are those who have commenced it again. I'm going to name them individually in the future. Should I? I saw on Monday has said to remove Minister Mangala Samaraweera. I know the editor of the... At one point, I was also asked to be removed. Now, if that person is not removed, we will have to see what will have to be done. If they are asking our ministers to be removed, they must be taught a lesson. Do not play with this government. The Prime Minister expressed these views at a meeting held for United National Party members in Kandy this morning.
And on to our developing story this evening, the mid-year fiscal position report 2016 of the Ministry of Finance shows that the CEB or the Ceylon Electricity Board has recorded an operating loss of over 5.7 billion rupees in the first quarter of this year.
The mid-year fiscal position report 2016 was presented in Parliament recently. According to the report, the CEB has recorded an operating loss of 5,781 million rupees in the first 4 months of 2016. The cost per unit for 1 kilowatt per hour has also increased by 2 rupees and 47 cents.
Why are there losses? They took the wrong decisions. The wrong policies and the wrong transaction have led to this. Who is going to pay for this? The people of this country, the CEB employees and the 5 million electricity consumers will fall on the streets. When there were profits in the first 4 months of 2015, did they reduce the electricity bill? Did they provide concession? No, they did not. Now what do we tell the 5 million consumers? The electricity price will increase in the future, that is certain. They have all got together and have taken a cabinet decision and incurred a loss of 1,831 billion at the CEB when we went there. They extorted through corruption tenders. We are not saying this. The court is saying this.
The former Auditor General says that it is a grave situation that has arisen when the authorities have not responded to an audit query made regarding the coal tender that has shocked the conscience of the court.
The Auditor General is the constitutional machinery established by the Constitution to assist the Parliament to demand the accountability from the Executive. Auditor General is the independent body who can oversee the operations or performance of the entire executive arm, that is the government, and the institutions coming under the government. And Auditor General should be strong enough and independent enough to run through these things and report over the accountability of the executive arm. Now, in terms of the Constitution, Article 154, the Auditor General has extensive powers to summon public officers, to ask for reports, ask for all books, records, returns, other documents, access to all stores, to be furnished with all such information and explanations. Now, what happens if that public officer does not answer this query? There are several things that the Auditor General can do. One, the Auditor General may refer that matter. Say, for example, if it's a head of a ministry. So the Auditor General can report this matter to Parliament, either the COAP or the Public Accounts Committee or the Parliament via these committees. And if even Parliament finds, our representatives find that these public officers are not coming out with information or not answering the query raised, then certainly they can recommend to His Excellency the President to deal disciplinarily with such public officer who does not comply with these directions. There is another thing that the Auditor General can do, and that is the Auditor General in his report can make an adverse remark or an adverse finding that I have sought these clarifications, I have queried this. Unfortunately, this is not forthcoming. I have reasonable, if the Auditor General has, I have reasons to doubt as to why this information is not forthcoming, and therefore I believe that if the Auditor General believes, I believe that there is a move to hide information or whatever.
Certain trade unions raise allegations that there are attempts to curtail the activities of the Auditor General's department.
The duty of the Auditor General is challenged and dishonoured. Those who interfere to chase away the Chief Justice are trying to silence the Auditor General when he is levelling accusations against them. The Supreme Court gave a decision with regard to the coal fraud. 2 reports of the Auditor General were based in making the Supreme Court decision. After this court ruling, they are doing the task of protecting the thieves by stating that the Auditor General's report is false. The ones who is attempting to go ahead with the old game. That is how these thieves, who act like national heroes, behind when their handcuffs are taken off.
සුපුරුදු විදිහට ආපහු මේ සමාජය අරන් යන්න හදනවා. ඒ ඇතුලේ තමයි හොරු ඇතුලට ගිහලා එළියට ඇවිල්ලා මාංචු ගලව ගත්තට පස්සේ ජාතික වීරයෝ වගේ පෙනී ඉන්න හදනවා.
Ceylon Electricity Board Employees Union says that the current situation is a shadow of a growing problem.
මේ ඔක්කොම එකතුලා ඉන්න මොකක්ද?
They have all got together. They cannot function the CEB. They are creating an opinion among the people of this country. What is the opinion? Do not take to the streets. This will have to be sold. After this is sold, is it the answer? No.
දෙන්න යන්නේ ඉඟුරු ඉස්ම දුන්න ගමන් ලෙඩත් කපොති ලෙඩගේ ඥාතිත් කපොති.
On to a developing international story this evening, we take a look at the shooting rampage in Germany. Well, gunmen went on a shooting rampage in a shopping mall in the southern German city of Munich yesterday, killing and wounding many people.
According to police, 9 people were killed and 16 wounded, 3 of them critically outside the Olympia shopping mall by a lone gunman who later shot himself. His body was found about 1 kilometer away from the mall. Police in the German city of Munich have asked members of the public to submit any videos, photos or audio recordings of the shooting. The identity of the 18-year-old gunman, a resident of Munich, had not yet been revealed, while no motive for the German-Iranian man's actions has yet to be established. Special forces have reportedly searched the killer's home in the Munich district of Maxvorstadt. Munich Police Chief Hubertus Andre told reporters overnight that the killer had not been known to people and he had no known links to militant groups. The attack is the third on civilians in Western Europe in 8 days, following the violence in Nice and Wolfsburg.
Some of you are aware there were shootings in Germany, and we don't yet know exactly what's happening there, but obviously our hearts go out to those who may have been injured. It's still an active situation, and Germany is one of our closest allies, so we are going to pledge all the support that they may need in dealing with these circumstances.
We and above all the people in Munich have gone through an evening and a night of terror. We are still being affected by the images and the reports from eyewitnesses. 9 people who were doing their shopping or going for something to eat on a Friday evening are now dead. Based on current information, they were killed by the bullets of one attacker. We all, and I say this is on behalf of the entire German government, we are all mourning with a heavy heart for those who will never return to their families. To the families, parents and children for whom everything now seems empty and meaningless, I say personally and in the name of many, many people in Germany, we share your pain, we are thinking of you and we are suffering with you.
Wir alle. Und das sage ich auch im Namen der ganzen...
Well, and on to some sports news. Australia have roped in former Sri Lankan spin legend Muthaiya Muralidharan as consultant ahead of the Test series against Sri Lanka.
Muthaiya Muralidharan had begun to work with Australia's spinners in their training session in Colombo ahead of the Test matches as a consultant. Muthaiya Muralidharan previously worked with Australia in a short-term consulting role ahead of their Test series against Pakistan in the UAE in 2014.
Australia offered me twice, so I said, okay, why not? Because you're passing on the knowledge to anybody, doesn't matter. Whether your country or any other people, doesn't matter. So I think the gaps in Sri Lankan team, already they have the spin coach, fast bowlers and everything. My problem is I can't work full time because I'm not ready for it, because otherwise I would have carried playing the game in T20 all over the world, because I think I give the quality time to my family is most important. That's why I take smaller jobs and smaller things to do, because 2 weeks, 3 weeks, because those type of jobs not available in Sri Lanka, so I just let go. Main weapon is Langanera. Other than that, they don't have any other bowler to get wickets for them. So these are the minus they have.
However, Murali has checkered history with Australia. When he was playing for Sri Lanka, it was Australia that made persistent allegations of throwing or chucking against him. Australian umpire Daryl Hare calls Muthaiya Muralidharan for chucking. Australian umpire Ross Emerson calls Murali for chucking in 1999. Then Captain Arjuna Ranatunga, the Sri Lankan cricket team and the people of Sri Lanka stood by Murali during those troubled times. Muthaiya Muralidharan joins the Australian cricket team as a consultant.
Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasu says trade agreements will be introduced by the government in place of agreements based on commissions.
The minister expressed these views after laying the foundation stone for the 47th model village in the Hambantota district. The village, which will benefit 26 families, has been named Saranigama. In the past, the largest international agreements that were reached were between the country and the largest casino owners in the world. A branch would have opened in the island they reclaimed in Hambantota. What will happen through that agreement? Prostitution will become popular. There will be an increase in child abuse cases and the drug culture will emerge. That is called the Packer Agreement. The dignity of the country was sold off for an agreement based on commissions. Individuals who orchestrated these deals are trying to create a new force by engaging in a march. Our government is making trade agreements with China, Malaysia, Singapore and with European countries and even with the United States of America. Why are we doing this? We are doing this in order to make our country an international trade center, an investment center and a business center.
Minister of Finance Ravi Karunanayake says that stringent decisions need to be made to strengthen the economy.
It is not impossible to develop this little country, but is there a desire to do so? Recently, persons have been holding placards at various locations. On the other hand, they come walking on Gaul Road, Wattala and from Kandy. Is this a country or a battleground? Suryavava was built at a cost of 4,500 million rupees. However, the actual estimate was 800 million rupees. What happened to the 3,700 million rupees?
The minister expressed these views at an event to present school equipment to students from Mutwal who were affected by the floods.
A meeting took place in Kurunegala today seeking public support for the march that has been organized by several MPs from the opposition.
This parliament is one that is distorted. Have you ever seen the Prime Minister provide proper answers to the questions? He humiliates us and insults us.
The Gammadda 100-day initiative.
Day 4.
Preliminary work, including the cutting of drainages and removal of earth for the road development project in Damanayaya, have come to its final stages. The dilapidated road did not meet the eye of the politicians, but it is now being renovated by Newsfirst for the betterment of the people. Under the Gammadda 100 Days project, a road will be given to those who have never seen a proper road system before.
Have you ever thought that every time you smile somewhere else, tears roll down the cheeks of many, sometimes hundreds and even thousands? Now there is an opportunity for you to lend a helping hand for those who are in need by simply contributing to the Gammadda 100 Days program. The following is a report on another group of persons who are in dire need of help. This is their story.
The village of Ittagala in Handagirigoda is located in Ratnapura, bordered by the Udawalawa National Park, the Katupat Oya and the Thalapat Ara Oya. The people of this village live with the fear of death from two sides.
We come across elephants some days. We cannot be sure of survival until we get across the waterway. When it rains, the tree trunk used as a bridge is slippery.
These children forget about their short notes that are required to face the school examination due to the increasing bitter memories of the hardships that they face. In the village of Ittagala, there is one important talent that needs to be taught to the children of the 60 families living there. That is how to cross the deadly tree trunk, used as a bridge.
At first, my mother used to hold my hand when we crossed. Later, when I was a bit older, I used to cross alone, using the wires as support. That is how I learned how to cross the bridge. At times, I have fallen and suffered injuries that required medication.
When elephants storm into the village, the locals flee into the thick forest. And in order to go to school, the hospital and even shops, they must cross the Katupat Oya.
Politicians come and placed foundation stones to build a bridge. We are yet to see the construction of a bridge. We wrote letters to every single MP that we could reach. Nothing happened. Why are they doing this to us? They live in AC rooms and we live under trees.
The request of these people seeking a bridge might be a joke to those in AC rooms. However, we at Newsfirst understood their plight. We are prepared to provide a bridge to bridge the lives of these people who face the battle with death while crossing the Katupatoya. This needs your support and we are ready to give you that opportunity.
Well, tonight on National Development News, we take a look at the development activities carried out in Colombo and surrounding areas under the Megapolis project.
The first plan to develop the city of Colombo was forwarded in the year 1921. A concept was forwarded by Frederick Keitz to convert Colombo into a park city. As a result, parks can be seen even today in areas like Bauda Lokamavata and Horton Place. In 1949, another plan was forwarded. A plan to develop the city comes forward in the year 1976, again in line with the Non-Aligned Movement Summit in the same year. In the year 1985, it was decided to shift the administration of the city to Sri Jayawardhanapura. The development activities of the city of Colombo, which were surfacing and submerging from time to time, was made a reality under the good governance government of President Maithripala Sirisena through the Megapolis plan. The plan covers the whole of the western province. Economic welfare, social justice, environmental coexistence and individual happiness are the primary objectives of the Megapolis plan. Under the plan, wetlands will be created and lowlands will not be reclaimed. The Megapolis plan consists of 10 projects. Port and airport cities, technological cities in Malabe and Homagama, industrial cities in Horana and Mirigama, tourist cities in Negambo and Alutgama. Environmentally friendly urban cities in Matugama, Baduralia will be constructed under the Megapolis plan, and all administration officers, including the President's office, will be taken away from the city.
The second edition of the mobile service program to provide electricity to the entire country took place at the auditorium of the Telejivila Central College in Matara today.
Through this program, the only house that did not have electricity in the Galadikatia area in Telejivila was provided with electricity today.
For the sake of the nation, the country and the environment, I request you not to grant even a temporary permit for private power stations under any circumstance. There is a new trend of generating electricity via solar energy and adding that to the national power grid. We must encourage that. A budgetary proposal for 2017 must be put forward where the Ministry of Power and Energy would intervene to provide solar panels to the poor villagers. If that is done, the coal mafia, the fuel mafia and all other hidden mafias can be defeated.
ඉන්ධන මාෆියා වෙනත් මේව අස්සේ හැංගුණු මාෆියා පරාජය කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. අපි ඊළඟ සති දෙකේ සූදානම්.
In the next 2 weeks, we will be prepared to make every household a power station. How are we going to do that? We invite all the people in the country to fix a solar panel on their roofs. We will also speak with the banks to provide the people with concessionary loans.
මේ ලබන 27 වෙනිදා
On the 27th, we will open the tenders made for the construction of a wind power plant which will generate 20 megawatts of power in Chunnakam, Jaffna. We will open the tenders no matter what pressure is exerted.
A connector of the outer buoy in the pipeline that carries fuel from the Colombo port to the Sapugaskanda oil refinery has ruptured. Chairman of the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation, T.G. Jasing, speaking to Newsfirst, said that the distribution of fuel through that pipeline has been temporarily suspended. The large crowds continue to add their wishes to the Torch of Hope rally, which is organized with the intention of mustering support for Sri Lankan sportsmen and women who will be competing at the Rio Olympics. The rally, which entered its 10th day today, is organized by the Capital Maharaja Organisation Limited together with Newsfirst and is supported by the Ministry of Sports, Minister of Education and the National Youth Services Council.
Day 10 of the Torch of Hope commenced from the Munaragala town today under the auspices of the Munaragala Divisional Secretary Upali Jayasekara and Superintendent of Police for Munaragala Anura Mapala Gama. The brass band of Mahanama College Munaragala led the motorcade on the streets where the locals were gathered to add their wishes. The Torch of Hope rally then reached Buttala Vallavaya and then entered the city of Bandaravela. ASP of Bandaravela Jayantarath Naik and local politicians were among those present to welcome the Torch of Hope. Students from a number of schools, including the Bandaravela Central College and locals, accorded a rapturous cheer for the Torch of Hope. The final stop of the motorcade today was Badulla.
Well, that's a wrap up the news tonight. Thank you for stopping by for the news system. I'm Joel Outkun. Take care. Good night.